Hello people, this is part 4 of the Minesweeper mini-series on this channel. In this video I'm going to cover combinations of the both techniques we have used in the previous two videos. Here is our first example. As we see here, the example is a little larger than usual, or than the past videos. Now, what do? We first look at the fields. For example, this one, which is the red field here, and 2, which is the green field here. Now, how do we continue? We see that the field of 1 is inside the field of 2, which means we can use a reduction here. In this case, we have 1 mine here, which means the 2 here becomes a 1. And this is then the field which remains. Now this field here, though, will only have 1 mine. It's not 2 mines, so we can't immediately place the mines here. So what do? We merge these fields. We get this here. Now you can also merge this, but that's not really useful. This is useful. We can merge these two cells, and then using the 3 here, we see then that, well, the 1 is inside the field of 3. So using the technique from the first video, where we have the same amount of cells as the number, we can just fill out all of the cells with a flag. So this has already a flag, so well, this doesn't do anything. This has a new flag now, so we found a flag here. And this, it has a flag somewhere, but we don't know yet. But what we know is that this cell has a flag. Here is a small overview of what we did. Here is our second example. Now it is a lot more larger than the previous one. So we do what we always do. We first construct the fields. Now we have a field at 2, which is so, and a field at this other 2, which is as so, and the green field here. Now we see that 2 already has a flag, so this is technically then 1, and the fields don't, well, they overlap, but one isn't completely inside the other, which means we can't use reductions. But what we can do is, we know that this field here can only have 1 mine, which means this intersection here can only have 1 mine. This means that this field here can also only have 1 mine, because this 2 here says that there are 2 mines in these 4 cells here. These 2 cells can only have 1 mine, right? So these 2 cells here must have the other mine. And so we can do this here. These 2 cells have 1 mine, and these 2 cells have 1 mine. Now we can merge these 2 cells, and thus we have a 3 here, and we have 3. So we know there's a mine somewhere here, so this technically counts as a flag, and we have 2 flags here, which means we found all the mines for this 3 here. This means that this cell is free. Here's a small overview. Here we have a 2, and we constructed the field here, and we see that these 2 cells here can only have 1 mine. Stu here says all these 4 cells have 2 mines. Now we know that these 2 cells have only 1 mine, so the other mine has to be in these 2 other cells. So we get this here. Now we continue on by merging these 2 cells. So it's basically 1 cell then. And this counts as a flag cell, because we know there is a mine in here. So then, using the technique from the first video, we have the same amount of flags. Well, it's not really a technique, it's more just, we already know we have all the flags, so we can just reveal the cells here. So we have the 3 here. Here is a more advanced example. So we start off by constructing the fields. Now it is always advised for larger situations to start with lower numbers. So we start here off with 1. This results us in this field, and for the 2 results us in this field here. Now we see that these 2 fields intersect, 1 and 2, which means these 3 cells can only have 1 mine. We get this then, right? And since these 2 cells or these 3 cells can only have 1 mine, the other mine must be in these 2 other cells. So we get this here. Now notice, here we have another 1, and this results us with this field right here. Okay. Now, why did I mark the 3? Because we see that because there's a 1 here, this means that for this 3 here, we can construct its field using the field from 1 and from 2 here, which are these here. We know from 2, or from both of them really, that these 2 cells here can only have 1 mine. Because of this 1 here, we see that these 3 cells only have 1 mine. So using the trick from the first video, so if we merge these, we have 1 cell, and if we merge these 3 cells, we have also 1 cell. The third cell, well, it's this one here, which means this cell contains a flag.